Hola everyone, I'm Veronica Bartolini with Codebreaker Real Talk, and today I have my special friend and sister, Celeste Chaparro,
No.
and we're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to hit on the evangelical agenda,
Lordy,
uh,
lordy, lordy.
why they want the spaceships to come and save you. Bullshit. Um, David Salas was like saying, "Yeah, it's coming to me. They're channeling. They're gonna come, and they have so much love for you, and yeah, because they want your heart. They want to use your battery." We were listening, Celeste. I sent you that video with John Irwin on Miles Base, that Miles Johnston, and this guy, something Stone, was interviewing him, and how he was talking about the genetic codes, the way they sat him in the chair, like they sat a lot of us, and they put a probe here on the top, two behind the ears, two in the inocular, and then one on the bottom of our neck. And it's kind of like the Matrix, how he said, "Oh, you're gonna learn something," and so they zapped him, and he, like, within 1 second he's back. His tooth is loose. He has like a headache or whatever. He's like, "What happened?" "Oh, well, we'll show you what happened." So then they start and put him to fight with another person for real here in the 3D. And he says that he was impressed because every time they, threw punches or try to throw knives or whatever the heck, whatever kind of situation scenario they placed him in, he knocked him down, or did, he was able to
He just
fight.
excelled in it.
Yeah. And he's like, "How did I do that?" "Oh, you haven't seen nothing yet." They told him, "Now you have to go up to the next level." He's like, "What?" "Yeah, but we can't." Okay. So he was like getting all into it. "Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready." And they told him, "No, not until one more week." And he's like, "Why one more week?" He's like, "You don't need to know." But he knew innately that it was because of the planetary shift. So there's something going to come up, supposedly on the 24th or 30th of
Yeah.
September. And they gave people bug out bags, little generic bug out bags, in Denver. This is the second or third time, because they call it Safety Week. And I'm like, okay, what's the distraction going to be? Because I know they're planning two things. According to Carrie Cassidy, she did that other video that I sent you with Dylan something. I'll remember soon, where they're doing something with the weather. We already know that HARP and CERN and all that, they're manipulating the weather. It could be, for years I've been listening to, especially when the Game of Thrones was on, winter's coming. And every time since, maybe 7 years that I started watching or whatever, that winter is on its way. I tell myself, winter's coming, get prepared. Like, I always have extra food, whatever, MREs, whatever, something is going to happen, either with the weather, or they say with the financial, maybe, reset. But it has a lot to do, my interpretation is, too, is the black sun with the black rock, the skull and bones. They twice a year they have to get together to do their finances, and then they have to say who's going to be the next president, who's going to be the next whatever king. And um and then another thing is, there's a place called Rock. Let me look it up here. In Israel, did you see that, the story that I put on Instagram? And watch, let me get my glasses. Because they want the Bible crap to come in. So it's called the Dome of the Rock, and it's in the Temple Mount in the old city of Jerusalem. Okay. So my thing is, I don't know if it's going to happen the 24th or 30th of September. I'm not sure. But they want to destroy it so that way they can build three more, we'll say, buildings or whatever, to usher in the new world order that they want. And then they said that Carrie Cassie was saying that perhaps William, now that the queen is dead, but actually they were saying that the queen has been dead for a long time now. They're just
Mhm.
putting it on scene for people to see is that Prince William is going to be the new king. And then, of course, the QAnon is saying, oh, Trump is going to be the king. And then they show the coin with his face. So a lot of things are happening. But before we go into all that, Celeste, you were talking to me. We've been going through a lot, you and I, for the past 4 weeks. And the past 2 weeks have been showing you what you need to do. Tell me, and again, everybody, what changes you have been able to see in your life that you had to take a step back and review your life and see, something's going on within me. So kind of like a revival in your soul. So chica, take it away, Celeste. I'm gonna mute myself here.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, last I want to say couple of weeks or so, just been, I don't know, just feeling like, what am I doing with myself? What is my purpose? Like everyone asks, like, what am I here for? So my past job, I was working in the weed industry. I did it for like 6 years, and it was cool at first, of course. When you don't know better, it's a fun job. But once you start seeing how people are, and people just don't want to grow up, and they're just stuck in that same place, driving the same kind of crappy car in the same house or the same crap apartment, not really wanting to do anything because they're just like, oh, this is my dream job. I just want to work in weed. But you don't really see them doing anything. Like, they don't really move up. They're not very ambitious because they're all too stoned to really even care. They're just like, yeah, I just get to get high at work. Like, that's all that matters. And so, what really changed it for me, like, oh, it was actually two things. And I don't know if I told you this. So when I was still there working, I went to McDonald's with a friend, and she got me a Happy Meal because she had like the app, so it's like buy one get one free. And so we're waiting for our food, and I'm like, damn, what do I do? Like, I don't want to be stuck at this place forever. I don't want to be compliance bitch forever there. I mean, I'm sure it'll take me to like Maryland and stuff like that. Like, I can transfer out, but still, like, just the thought of it was like, I just did not even. I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. I felt trapped. Just even thinking about it just got my anxiety kind of going, and I was like, ugh. And so we get our Happy Meals, and I got my sign. Let me show you.
A
It's
sign?
Yeah, it's Buzz Lightyear in a little fighter jet.
Oh, I love Buzz Lightyear. Oh my gosh.
Okay, and so that whole time,
That's
and so
us,
for like,
dude.
yeah, so this is my little toy, right? And so for like the past year or two, I've been, you know, uh, dancing around the idea of becoming an aerospace engineer, going to work on like fighter jets and things like that. And so when I was thinking about that, I'm like, should I do it? And then that's when I got the little toy, and I was like, all right, that's it, I'm doing it. And so that's it. That got the ball rolling for me, and I was still there for like another, I don't want to say month, maybe 3 weeks. And then, oh, well, before that though, so this dude that works there, he was telling me that a friend of his since childhood ended up getting his pilot's license, and he's like, yeah, ever since we were kids, we've always been in competition with each other. And we both said, because they were both into also airplanes, as children, and go to the museums and go to all the like the air shows and things like that. And so they said, we're gonna get our pilot's license, or let's see who's the first one. And his friend, he said, maybe about a month ago, ended up getting his license, his pilot's license, which means he probably has like a plane. He's got like, he's got money. He's like, he's good. He's living his life. And I'm looking at this dude in front of me, and I'm like, your friend went and did this, and here you are, almost 50 years old. Just You're barely a supervisor in this place. Like, you're just in a little corner, and you're miserable. And I'm like, how are you happy? And that's when I was like, I don't want to be you. This is not going to be my life. So after
You
that,
know, remember he said El genre when he said when people don't want when they don't have a want,
Mhm.
they'll just sit there and do nothing. Like they don't have aspirations. it,
It's like they just get comfortable, you know, they just get
yeah,
comfortable, like, this is good enough. I shouldn't really have to try. Like, I'm good where I'm at. And it's just like, but then you become miserable and then resentful. And then it's just like, all this time I wasted being comfortable, I could have at least been doing something. And so, and that's what I did. And I just ended up walking out. About a week ago, I walked out of that place. And I was like, I'm done. And so I did. And it was nerve wracking because I was just like, okay, I'm about to move into this new apartment and I don't have a job right now. How am I going to make it, And so they call me on Monday. Oh, no, not Monday. They called me like the week before Monday, the week before I was supposed to move in, that they had to fix it. There's still some things to fix, so it's going to be ready Wednesday. Wednesday comes around, I have everything in the living room. It's not even ready. Dude, it wasn't even ready till like 4 or 5 yesterday, the damn apartment. So, anyways, I just go and I tell her I'm just gonna cancel. I'm not gonna take the apartment because I'm just like, yeah, I'm not. I don't even have a job. I can't even pay for it. Like, what am I gonna do? And so I thought I was gonna move back to Phoenix like tomorrow, and I
you
was
were
already
you
look.
were you were so mad. You had your U-Haul and and you're like, I
I was
want to go back to the
pissed.
beach. And I'm like, well, I would invite you to come over here, but it's a 1 bedroom
And they still got all the puppies and
and
Lola
all the
and
puppy. Oh my gosh, yeah.
and I have a lot of stuff too, dude. I don't know what I would do with all that crap.
I think it was a sign, dude. It was a sign
Hmm.
for you to, because you were telling me that you would have to pay $1,800, and but
But
then 1800,
1840.
1840, that's a
Hmm.
lot. And
For
then
mhm.
you something about your, I don't know if you want to say where you're gonna work, but like you called them and all that stuff. If you want to say what happened there too.
Yesterday, right? Okay, yeah. So I'm calling. So I get the truck or whatever. So I think I'm moving, and then I'm talking to my roommate, and so she pretty much just tells me, she's like, dude, you can stay here if you need to. Like, don't feel like you have to rush back to Phoenix. And she's like, but talk with my sister, and of course I talked with her, and she's like, dude, it's fine, stay here. And so then I get a call from the lady at Sprouts because I haven't heard from her in a while, and I was just like, dude, what's happening? Do I have a job or not? Like, I'm just trying to just get to work and then just start meeting, like, because there's a lot of college students there, so I want to just like start getting to know like cool kids that I can study with and start like getting my math on and things that I need to learn for aerospace engineering. So yeah, so she called me and I first told her to cancel, like I was gonna move back, and so that's when my friend said I could stay. I called her back. She ends up sending me like the new hire stuff, so I got that going. So it looks like things are falling into place, and it's for us to like just help each other out. And I was even talking to my mom about this yesterday, and I was just telling her like, just me, poor little me, and just everything is so terrible and everything's happening to me. Why me? And I had to like step back and stop being such a little bitch. And it's just like, dude, it's not that bad. Like, it's not that serious. Like, things worked out. Like, things are gonna work out. They always do. But yeah, just like me freaking out and just stressing over nothing that ended up working out in the end. And I just told my mom, I was like, I really just need to grow up and just stop with that whole, I don't want to say victim mentality, but just, yeah, pretty much. I mean, just call it that. It's just like, just stop at that and just be like, okay, what can I control? Okay, and what can't I control? Just let whatever take care of that then. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If not, then, you know. So that's how I was yesterday after. I was just like, you know what? Just accept it. If I'm moving, I'm moving. If I'm not, hell yeah. But so it looked like after I let it all go, I was just like, fuck it. It is what it is. And then that's when things just worked out after that, like so quickly in those like hours. So it's just, yeah, it's just crazy how things can just work out so quickly. I'm amazed.
And then, oh yeah, me too. And then how you went through your emotional, you had to balance your emotions again and put boundaries with you actually had to talk to the roommates, and you
Hmm.
then found out how the boss
Hmm.
at your old job was kind of just using you. You want to go into that? Like, And then well, yeah, and then the mentality, we could say, of the working class.
Like the
And
worker bee, just gotta
yeah,
go,
and
go, go.
yeah, and tie it into what John Irwin was also saying, that the reason why these, we'll say, bankers in space, along with the kind of non-human entities,
Hmm.
they are manipulating our gene codes because they don't want to reincarnate into a body of the working class. They don't want to be slaves anymore.
Right. No, and that's I was yeah, all of us were all stuck in that mentality too. Like you got to work hard so people will like you, and then they see you at work that you work hard, and then you're gonna make more money and get promoted and da, da, da. No, it's not even that. It's like the harder you work and the more you do, the more they're gonna put on you. You're gonna stay in the same place. You're gonna be maybe get a dollar or two more, if that, but I've, of course, we've all been through it. You work hard, making someone else's dream come true. You're stressed, you're burnt out, hoping they'll still notice you and give you some recognition. But, at the end of the day, you're resentful. You hate your job, you hate your boss, and you start hating your coworkers. And, it's not their fault. They're all there to survive also, just as you are. And you got to just, just stop with that mentality too. Like, so if you're burnt out, just leave the job. Things work out, like money's fake anyways. So, what's the true currency? Energy, right? That thing that you sent me? Energy is a true currency. So we
Yeah,
got to
and
treat.
I definitely, I even posted it on my Lisa Amore on Junk Journal's Instagram and stuff, because a lot of people think that just because I make things and it comes easy to me, believe me, sometimes I just throw everything, like, just leave it on the table for like 2 days, because I think like it comes naturally, yes, but I want something different all the time. And they
Hmm.
think, oh, just because you enjoy it, Vero, you should give it away. And believe me, I give a lot of stuff away.
Hmm.
But it comes to the point where my vehicle is not safe to drive anymore.
Hmm.
The other day, I found out. Thank you, by the way, to Miss McDonald. She sent a $250 contribution for me to fix one of the things that is wrong in my vehicle, and it's la flecha, which is the carriage arrow, which is the chassis, which I should not even be driving it around the corner, much less on the freeway. And I've been driving it like that for 5 months.
Oh
So I
wow.
got to the point where I knew it was dangerous, but I used my abilities to just manifest myself from here to the gym and back, or whatever I had to do, grocery store, whatever.
Right.
Um, and it's like I am like, F it then. Screw it. Like,
Like you talk to your
I don't
car
have the
too,
money
right?
right now.
Like, cause yeah, I talk to my car like when cause I have a little old car too, and I shouldn't be driving that motherfucker up hills, and I shouldn't be driving it far. I shouldn't be driving it in the snow. Like, dude, it's a little Toyota Echo. It's a little Yoshi egg. Like, it shouldn't.
You're
you
my
know,
girl. I got a Toyota too, my Forerunner. They're badass, aren't they?
dude, yeah, but I talk to him, and I'm like, we could do this. Like, when we're going up the hill, you're a good guy, and I'm like petting him, and I'm just like patting him and just talking to him, and I'm like, you could do this. You've been through worse. I know you could do it, and I just tell him he's my boy, and just like I talk to my car all the time. It's like you have to. I know. That's how I feel. You got to talk to everything that you have because
Oh yeah,
just like
I
your
do.
animals
I
almost.
keep Yeah, I keep promising Beastie, come on, girl. We got this. You're the
Right.
beast. And I'm your
The beast.
Hulk. And we got this. And soon I'm gonna get the money to get that part, because I need like 5 parts. So
Hmm.
this week, finally, we're
Hmm.
gonna go tomorrow. My mom's gonna take me. And I'm
Nice.
excited.
Yay. I'm
I'm
glad.
very grateful. Lola came for a reason.
Yeah, dude. Dude, that was so crazy when that happened. When you were just going to the gym like
10
any other
puppies,
day.
dude. 11 at the, yeah, I was on my way to the gym, and something kept stalling me. Was it you and I, we were talking, right? Yeah. I
Yeah.
said, Celeste, I know I gotta go to the gym, but something keeps telling me to wait. And I've been ready for like an hour, and I'm here talking to you and
Yeah,
sleeping, and
dude.
what the heck?
And then that shit happened, dude.
Yeah,
That's
so
why. You
yeah.
had to wait. You had to wait for Lola. You had to wait for the babies. That shit was crazy. And I felt like I was there with you too. Just,
Yes, thank you.
yeah, man. Fuck
You
yeah.
kept checking in on me every morning, every afternoon, every day, yeah, are you okay? You helped me to keep going and
Hmm.
thank you.
Yeah,
But it
man.
just,
We have to. Yep.
it's weird.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just thought about it. Maybe she kept me from dando que me dieran la pinche puta madre, way on the freeway. Like, cause I go so fast on the freeway, I go 10 miles over all the time. Cause that's my cop thing. We would not give tickets unless it was like over 10 miles, unless they were like weaving or they had an expired tag. I mean, it's just up to the person,
The
to the
cop.
person itself. Yeah. It's, you have to use your own, intuition.
Hmm.
But, I don't
Like,
know,
yeah,
man.
it's just a white girl speeding. Leave her alone.
Leave me
When they see.
alone. You guys already know me. You know who I am. You know
Mhm.
my vehicle. You know what I'm doing. You know my routine. Step off. Like,
All right.
but
Leave her alone.
yeah.
Anyway.
So I just feel like we were both kind of like at a dead end with situations where, same thing with me with my apartment. I feel Lola also helped me to push me to find housing for myself. Like everybody knows, they raised the rent $200 more, and I don't have it. So people help me. My mom's been helping me, my sisters, but I don't want to be a burden forever, an eternal burden, because I know how to manifest things, but it just gets like, it got to the point where I couldn't breathe. Like I have so much anxiety sometimes, and I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? Like, I can't stay here. I can't depend on my family and friends all the time. What am I gonna do? So something just said, go to the freaking housing, and even though the Section 8 has been closed since 2015. I've been trying since 2015 to get on it. Someone helped me, and they said that hopefully by December or February, I'll move into a little, you know, one bedroom, with the hopefully with the fenced yard. But I'm manifesting more than that, and so it's just so cool how things just have to go to a dead end sometimes to just say, okay, I tried. Just let it go. See what happens. Believe in yourself.
Hmm. I mean, because yeah, like, was it Tony Robbins says, I'm a winner, and the only
Yeah.
one that could stop me is me. And we always get in our own way. And it's just like, oh, I'm not smart enough. Oh, I'm not pretty enough. Oh, I'm not young enough. Oh, I'm too old to. It's like, dude, who fucking cares? Just do it. And if the world ends tomorrow, then, well, at least you took that first step. At least you decided to do it.
Exactly. And I've been, for the past 2 days, I've been seeing in my mind the scene of Don't Look Up. It's a movie on Netflix with DiCaprio.
Hmm.
And at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, he's there sitting with his family having dinner, and it starts shaking and the asteroid's coming. And then, but they knew it. They knew it, and that's me with, you know,
Everything.
everything. And no, I'm not going through the wormhole for these mother effers, these super soldier, secret space crap, Star Wars, harp.
Dude, when that guy said what he says when he dies, he says he wants to come back, and I was like, hell no, I don't want to come
I'm
back
not
here.
coming back. I know you read my mind. I was like, I ain't gonna come back.
Hell no, bitch, I ain't coming back.
No. And then when he said, oh, well, when the beings are discarnate, they just hang out until there's a pole shift, or harp shifts it to where the stargates, what they want to do, so
Mhm.
certain people can escape. Well, then that's when
Mm,
the light beings, we can all escape. Well, guess what? Uh, I just believe that when I leave, I go home. I
yeah, same
don't have
here.
to
I'm not
wait.
coming back. I don't
No.
feel like I'm coming back. Like, this is my last time on this planet, and
Yeah, like
I'm
he kept saying,
finally.
yes, finally exit. And he kept
Mhm.
saying, well, I really do want to die because, I'm
Mhm.
not that I'm, suicidal or something, he said, but he's like, I want this to end so that I can come back on a clean slate or whatever. He said, I'm like, hell
Mm-mm.
no, I reject that timeline for me.
Same here, dude. I don't want it. I don't claim it. It's not mine.
Oh. And then I started watching Westworld first episode. I couldn't even
Mhm.
talk, dude. Like
It's too
half through
triggery.
it, I was like, oh
Triggery as
hell
hell.
no. They have these android humanoids like us,
Mhm.
that they use in different situations. They either kill them off, rape them, and then they bring them back
Torture
to
'em,
life.
whatever. Live like your darkest fantasy, or have it be a family trip.
Yeah, so it just that's what pretty much the elites are pretty much doing. The eight, we'll call them the eight, the octopus, the
Mhm.
Jesuits that come from, I think uh, it's where is it? It's not. They said something like New Zealand, or I'll have to check. I have to write it down. I saw that video yesterday again with Carrie Cassidy, and that guy Dylan was saying that it was the eight, because I'm always telling people it's the fucking one-eyed octopus that is like wanna be God here and
Mhm.
controlling the system. So when I saw Westworld, a
Mhm.
little bit of it. They're in the high rises where they're all in the white buildings. And it kind of also reminded me of when John Wickberg was talking about the white buildings and all the bankers in space are there. That's what I saw. That's what I
Mhm.
saw. It's the end of a scenario,
Mhm.
for this age, this body here, and then another body. Oh, go ahead and fix him. Oh, go ahead and rewind this in him and, glue his throat back up and let's start all over. Let's start the simulation over.
Mhm.
And it's like, it's horrible what they're doing. And a lot of people think, oh, if I just pray to God, if I just pray to the Holy Spirit, if I just pray to Jesus,
Mhm.
it's bullshit. They also want people to be enamored with the whole Jesus thing. And I do believe that we are like the Christos, the Jeshua 12. Now, I believe myself, and this is not ego, just listening to Erwin again. I
Mhm.
believe with all my heart that I have all 48 strands of DNA. And that's why they fucked with me so much in my life. And now that
Mhm.
they know that I'm exiting, they can't stop me. I'm not hiding in the dark. I'm in the light. I'm in my light.
Mhm.
And I'm doing what I want. I'm doing what I want. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not, how they say, excuse me guys, this is not for kids, but I'm not fucking, sucking and trucking. I'm not like all about sex, rock and roll, y drogas. It's not, my life is not like that anymore.
Mhm.
They even had me in a loop where I became alcoholic. My mom was an alcoholic too. My mother, sadly, she's stuck with the Christian mentality of having to give your money to these pastors. Like we were talking, Celeste.
Mhm.
You and I have a parallel life. I found one of my starseed families, you, that has actually gone through the same freaking programming of, oh, let's listen to Kenneth Copeland and give him money for his aeroplane. Go ahead, you talk. Your turn.
Yeah, grew up in, of course, first as a Catholic family, just very, the strict rules and having to be at church mass, I guess you should say mass every Sunday or whatever, and it's just very stoic. It's just serious. Everyone just looks angry, and they look at you like it's an inconvenience that you're a child, and it's like, I didn't have to be born, bitch. Like, this is. Anyways, yeah, and then my mom became a born again Christian, so then we left the whole Catholic thing, and then yeah, she became a Christian, and just in her depression and all that, she was kind of one of those crazy Christian moms. Like, she was trying to force us to accept Jesus into her life. I remember
Dude,
because there
how old
were.
were you? How old were you when your mom did that to you? Because I was raised Catholic too, with like my dad, my mom, and then my mom, when I was 21, she's freaked out and she was suicidal, and somebody told her if she accepted Jesus, she would live forever, and that she didn't have to worry about that her sins would be forgiven, and she made us do that shit. How old were you?
I was young, dude. I want to say like maybe 10 or 11 when my mom became a born again Christian. And so yeah, so that's all I knew then for the rest of my life. But yeah, she would try to force us, like when we're still living in California, she tried to make us, like, in the living room, the middle of the living room, just all of us hold hands, get on our knees, and just force us. And me and my sister,
Shut
because
up. My mom too, in the living room, she had a pastor and she had us kneel down and go down, and it's like, and do this prayer. I'm like,
that sounds
why
very
didn't I
superstitious.
just do
Almost.
it? Doesn't feel any different.
Yeah, it was just embarrassing for me because
Yeah, it was.
we had the door open, so any one of our family members could have just walked in because we had like uncles and stuff living with us. And she's just like trying to force us, and I'm like, I don't want to do it. And she's like, you have to. And I was like, no. And she's like, you have to. And so finally, I was just like, like I don't want to do this. And it makes you hate God. It makes you hate all that. And it's just like you're doing the opposite to me right now, lady. Like this isn't gonna work. So of course it didn't. I was out in the streets with my friends. I didn't want to be at home. It was, at 11 years old, I'm fucking out in the streets 10 at night just because I don't want to be at my like with my mom. I'd rather be with like my friends' parents who are normal. They're not trying to force me to. They're just like, yeah, just watch TV, or yeah, here's some food, and just like letting us be kids. But yeah, and then we moved to Vegas. That was just even more terrible. At 15, it's like, look, why are you gonna move us to Vegas? Like, come on, all six of us kids moving in with a man we barely knew, our father. Well, he's not really my dad because even after he died, I didn't get memories. I didn't get anything. I was just like, I was like, whatever.
Yeah, we were talking about that, like John, where he's like, oh, your mom, you were at your mom's ceremony and she graduated as a super soldier, and I'm like, I always knew that my mom was not my real mom. Like I'm a C-section. I came in. I remember coming in you know, and it's like I was hated her. Like our frequency was not the same. Like the genetic coding, you know, I was more close to my dad. So
Mhm.
my dad, the Illuminati's in his family, one of his brother, because he went to work for NASA and became a Mason, they took
Mhm.
him out as a sacrifice. I was 13.
Mhm.
So it's like I know that that mom that graduated, well, maybe she was the one that they used for me genetically to come in, even though I may look like this mom here, the what they
Mhm.
call a biological mom. I never felt I was always manipulated
Same,
by her.
dude. Same, because I look like her. I look like my mom, but even though I look like her, I don't feel any connection. And it's not
Right.
just because even she didn't like give us that attention and shit that we needed as children. Because like I said, she was very depressed and she was just trying to chase down their dad and just trying to
My
show
mom
him.
too. That's all she did. She was depressed. She would go out all the time, different men. She would never give us the attention, and then she would tell us like different things like lie today, you gotta lie to your dad today, or no, you don't lie. Oh, you have
Mhm.
to say hi to this new man in my life, like he's gonna be the one. And then I feel bad for my kids because I was also in the sex kitten program like she was, and I ended up thinking after my divorce, oh, it's this one. Oh, this is the one. Bullshit. That's just another way to keep us um,
Just trapped.
distracted and trapped.
'Cause like that's how women are. Like we're supposed to be all love crazy over guys, and it's like actually no. It's just
No,
like if he doesn't want you, be like, all right, cool, move on. I'm gonna live my life. I'm not gonna lose sleep over you. Like you're just
yeah, and that movie,
one grain of sand.
yeah, that movie that I was telling you about, he's not all that into you. Like in the beginning of the scene, there's a little girl playing in the columpios in the playground, and then there's this boy and throws sand or whatever, and you're stupid or whatever he tells her, and she's crying with her cute little blue eyes and blonde hair, and then she's talking to her mom, and her mom's like, "Oh, that's because he likes you." Bullshit.
No, if and I used to believe that too, and it's just like, oh, I'm special, and it's just like, no, that's a huge red flag. If a guy at an early age is showing aggression towards a woman, like something's wrong in the household. Like you don't treat women like that. Like you know, a real father, a real man would show him how to treat a girl on the playground. If he wants to be on the slide or whatever, or she has a toy or is on the swing, he'll be polite and he'll ask her kindly and nice, not push her or throw sand at her, call her names. Like that's terrible. That's just kids. I'm like, no, that's the parents. You got to
No,
look at
and
the
then
parents.
animals too. Like if the kids are hurting the animals, that's a huge sign right there that they're being hurt at home
Mhm.
or not given attention.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Because that was my brother. He's not now. Like he's now very nice towards animals. But when he was a kid, he was. Yeah. I would worry. I would like, why are you doing that? Like that ain't right. My mom would just kind of look the other way and it's just like, dude, don't do that. But I mean, of course I love her. She's my mother. She birthed me. I don't know whether she is my real mother or not, but like I said, I don't think she is, and of course I don't think my father is, but I think
I don't
his
even, I
brother.
don't, but they didn't even birth us, dude.
I remember when I told you about that Army Ranger dude that he took me shooting for my birthday and that he
Oh
was
yeah.
saying, and he said to me, he's like, "You weren't born. The stork brought you." You know, at first saying something, just being goofy, and he's like, "Yeah, you're a little doll. You were made in a doll factory." And of course, at that time, I didn't know anything. I was just like, "Oh, you say something very cute to me. You know, he likes me." Me being dumb. I didn't know any better. So yeah, and so now that I think about it, I was just like, what if there is some truth in that? I don't know if he knows anything about these programs or anything like that, but you know, I don't talk to him anymore. But yeah, but it was
Yeah,
just
like
crazy now that I think about it.
my mom would always tell us that the stork brought us, and I'm like, that's creepy. The stork brought me and put me in your door. That
You're
kind of
like,
reminds
you mean like a
me of Grinch.
alien or something?
Am I the Grinch? The Grinch. So
Mr. Grinch. Dude, when
that
Christmas
eats
is
the
around, we
cookie.
gotta, yeah.
The, the Santa Claus cookie, but he eats the plate. I'm like, I'm gonna eat the plate anyway. But yeah, and then you're all messed up like that, and then they put you in church. Then you go to
Thinking it's
church
gonna fix you.
pretending everything's perfect at home. You
When
fight
in the
on your
church
way
you
to
see,
church.
but then you see everyone in church, they're all have fucked
Hypocrites.
up relationships or families, He's cheating on with this lady in church, or she's, blah blah blah, whatever. Like, you never know. Some people, even Satanists are in that church. They're just trying to recruit for their covens. It's like you just never know who's in that damn church. And you get the ladies up front. You remember they would have the screaming matches because the Holy Spirit's in them. You hear one and the other one and the other getting all
Mhm.
crazy, and
Falling
you're
all
just like,
over the place.
right,
It's all
you
a
know,
ritual.
it's all, yeah, and it's just all dumb. It's like, what do they call it? Like the Kundalini, like that fake Holy Spirit. It's just, it's
Speaking in
not.
tongues and shit. And they're like, well, you have to speak in tongues and let me baptize you with the Holy Spirit. So they did all that shit to me. And I'm like, okay, I got a language now. It sounds Persian. I know I have Persian blood. It sounds like I'm from over there.
Hmm.
I know my dad's side has that. But it's like, what the fuck am I saying? Oh, well, you have to speak it because when you don't know how to pray, you got to use the tongues. I'm like, those are snake tongues.
Like,
That's
I ain't called them
AI.
up, bitch.
Yeah. And the ultimate sin is if you talk against the Holy Spirit. Well, guess what, bitches? Excuse my language. AI is actually, Holy Spirit is AI. It's a channel that they use and they have the ley lines. They use your douche. They make you worship, worship, worship. You're already tired because you've been partying Friday, Saturday night. You get all to the church all drunk or whatever, crudos, menudo after church. And mind you, if you can't eat before church,
Hmm.
that's a sacrifice to the Lord. And
Like,
then
most of the time, all those pastors are just charlatans themselves. They just
they
want
are.
it. They just want people almost like they got that cult leader mentality. Like, I just want people to
Manipulation.
listen to me and do as I say. I'm God. I'm the voice of God. And then it starts becoming, I
Yeah,
am
not
God,
you. That's why I'm
or I am the
here.
Holy Spirit. Like, I
Yeah.
am the Holy Spirit. Like that one church that's called the World Mission Society, whatever of God. Like, it's a long ass name. They believe like this 80-year-old Korean woman is the Holy Spirit. They think she's the Holy Spirit, and they send all their money, and it's a cult, man. Like the things they have to do, it's all these weird rituals that they can't on Saturdays, or yeah, Saturdays they can't leave the church or they can die, or weird shit like
Oh
that.
yeah, there's I even fell into that when I was in high school, my senior year, going to the summer of my uh freshman year at the U.
Hmm.
I I got into this church. I don't even know how. They said I had to wear my long hair, I couldn't wear makeup, and I had to wear skirts.
Yeah, the really long skirts to
Like
your
my
ankle,
hair,
right?
huh?
Like the skirts all the way down to your ankle, and then you had to put on the little scarf over your head because
Yeah,
women's hair shouldn't be seen and things like that.
right.
Yeah, just all these rules for women, but the
Right.
men.
It was the Tabernacle of Tucson or something like that. And I fell to that. And dude, I was in that cult for like fucking 3 months. And my mom's like, ¿Qué tienes? ¿Estás loca? And I'm like, no. And then I got into the Buddhists, the Tibetan worship, then the guru. Oh, Ekankar, who I thought was my best friend. Her mom was into Ekankar, which has supposedly to do with metaphysics and quantum, well, metaphysics. And I was into that too. And they had me worship this man that was like dark haired, white complected with a mustache. I'm like, who the fuck is that? Like, why do I have this, all these books? And then my aunt told me to go to California when I was in the military, go to Scientology and oh, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of religions that I got into because I was trying to look for me, my truth. And then to fall back again to the Christian life, no. And even they later on when I finally got out of the Christian religion, I stopped going finally to church, and I found out that a bunch of drug dealers were the pastor's right hand man.
You know what's so funny? Because this church that I was going to in Phoenix, this kid, he was like their guy. He was like the neighborhood fucking pot dealer. And I'm like, and I don't know if they knew or not, but I'm just like, y'all got this kid up in here that deals weed. And this was way before it even went medical. So he was doing it all illegal. Lola, Lola, Lola. Her little light. Aw, she's so pretty. The lows.
Her ears are down because she's asking me to take her outside.
Okay, you want to do a little break?
Yeah, we'll pause.
Okay,
I'll be
sounds
back.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I need to pee anyway, so I'll be back too. So
So,
yeah, my mom was
yeah.
telling me about this guy, yeah, at this church that he pretty much was starting to say that he was the Holy Spirit or God or he was or some crap, and that they were showing the worship service and they're pretty much just like extending their hands to him and singing all the songs to him, and he's just up there, loving it. And it was the same when I watched that Benny Hinn shit, dude. He's just like with his hands on his hips and he's just watching because you know how he would sell out stadiums and it's just like it's just so ugly just to watch just someone just how narcissistic can you be? How full of yourself and how insecure are you that you need that? I mean,
Yeah, I think it has to do because I was listening to that Irwin guy and he said that we hold 250 volts in each of us. So a
the
human, like a normal human, okay, 250 volts. So imagine us that were hybrids. Woo! Better stand clear,
Ooh.
babe.
Mhm. Right. So
And
imagine the people that don't know that don't know they're hybrid and they're going to these mega churches and shit and they're just like screaming at the like like they're the fucking Beatles or some crap and they're just
well,
giving
that's
away that
also
luge.
in the stadiums too. Like when football, they have it like in kind of in a Roman like a
The
dome,
arenas, the
Coliseum.
Coliseum.
And that's how they also make the for concerts for these oh we're gonna oh I hated when we had because I was an usher too and I had to count people's money. I had to sit everybody down. I had to take care of the kids, wash all their linens, their toys, play my violin twice 3 times a week, and then it's like you're depleting. It's like depleting, but they take energy and that's of course I'm going to talk about this more on Monday when we do that show with Jesse or whatever, how in Dune, remember we watched that movie the other night,
Did
and
Chad watch it?
the no, he couldn't get into, he got stuck on a loop, so hopefully he'll, because of that site, loops, hopefully he will, but they were talking about the spice and I'm like, dude, that's the gold. That's the gold, the luge that they take from people here on Earth, and they have
Hmm.
the worms to take care of that.
Oh, the wormwood. Yep.
Yeah, you know the worms that are the sandworms, they're taking care of the
Hmm.
spice, which is the gold.
Hmm.
And on one of the scenes, you know, they have this huge, like kind of like armored vehicle full of that stuff, and they're trying to extract it, but the worm gets to it, and they couldn't, and then it goes into the whole worm itself. It's like hair follicles, like an eye, that comes up and grabs it.
Yeah, all the teeth, the way it just looked all like a lamprey. Have you seen Samita?
See, and you know how you mentioned to me while we were watching, you're like, hey, dude, they're doing like this whole Darth Vader against the Muslim or something because the people that were the ancient, we'll call them beings that had
Hmm.
the bluest eyes, and that's pretty much what I see as like the bioluminescence, the O negative blood type, whatever. I don't want to
Yeah,
get into
because
it right
they,
now.
because of the kid, yeah, they looked all NAZI. Like the uniform was all black with the boots pretty much almost up to the knees, and then they had the insignias right there on the side, the red and the black, and it's just like that's just very, yeah, that
And
time
then
period.
I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's the white Draco that they're fighting against, you know, the lineage there, because
Hmm.
Max talks about how it's Aldebaran versus the Dracos. And I'm thinking, you know, speaking of the genetics thing again, I know I'm going like bouncing off different subjects, but the genetic codes, why they want it to be like, why there's a reason why the supposedly the Germans went to space. Well, because they didn't want to get their blood thing, their genetics tainted. You know, same thing with Hitler. He was on point with everything except for the you know, the splicing and the twinning program. Now we were talking earlier. You said that you were going to be a Kimberly, and I'm like, dude, there's a program, the Kimberly twinning. You
Wow.
want to tell me
Yeah,
more
because
about that? Your experience today?
yeah, so when my mom had me, she was going to name me Kimberly, and my dad, that I know is not my dad, he tells her because he's Mexicano, so he wanted, I guess, something more Latin, more Mexican, and so he's like, no, that sounds too white. So she said for 3 days I didn't have a name, even on my birth certificate it just says the last name Chaparro, but it doesn't say Celeste, it's just blank. And so the way she found my name is like a mother before had left a baby book and she was going through it and she saw Celeste and she really liked it because it was Latin and she's like, oh, it could be English, it could be Spanish, she can take it anywhere around the world. So yeah, so today when I went to return the U-Haul truck, the lady had expressed how much she liked my name. And I told her I was almost a Kimberly, and she starts laughing. And she's like, I'm laughing because I too was almost a Kimberly. And we just were like, what the fuck? It was crazy. I was like, I'm like, that's, I've never in my life would ever think I would ever meet someone that would say the same exact thing. Oh, yeah, I was almost a Kim too. So it was just weird. It was so weird. I was like, wow. Now that I know what I know, I was like, I wonder if she was a part of a program and doesn't know it. Maybe, I don't know. But she seemed cool. She seemed really cool. I got a chill vibe from her. And I do have a cousin named Kim, so that's just crazy. Well, my aunt really liked the name, so she's like, "Oh, sure, so you're not gonna name her that. I'm gonna name her that then."
I wonder what it where it comes from, if it's a European name or a
Right?
Brit. Yeah,
Hmm. Or maybe
probably.
if it's just like a made up one of those made up American names.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. My
So
mom
we'll
was
see.
gonna name me Sulema,
Really?
Sulema something, and she said that you know she ended up naming me Jesus Veronica because she couldn't have kids. She had the same thing happen with me. She had like precancer cells, and
Mm-hmm.
she prayed and she promised the Jesus of this fake world that she was going to name me Jesus. And then my grandmother, her mom named me Veronica. And so Veronica means truth. And it's weird because a lot of people do remember me as Veronica over there in space. And,
Hmm.
uh, but it's just interesting because our names mean something. And I remember when I was in the church, the pastor would say that God knows you by a different name. And it's like, why? You know, I wonder. Hmm.
I
So
feel like our names do define us because I looked it up actually what Kimberly means, and it's actually Old English, which is a combination of Kimber and Lee, meaning from the meadow of the royal fortress.
I knew it. I knew it had to be like a freaking royal name.
Right, dude. But my name meaning, what does it mean? Heavenly, or in Spanish is sky blue. So I could be called by, like, I have two friends that call me Blue, you know. If I
It's
wanted to, I could go by
celestial.
Sky.
Celestial is celestial.
Yeah.
You're a
Yeah.
celestial.
And you know what? It, I feel like I do, what would I say, like resemble my name because at times I just feel like I have this whole universe within me just swirling and swirling, especially when I'm stressed out or I'm pissed. Like I just feel like I could just see planets and things just, or or it could mean blue. My name. And, when I get my depression, I'll feel really blue. I feel really down, and it's just like, no, I don't want to feel like that. I want to be the sky blue. I want to be happy. I want to be with the sunny sky. So yeah. Then I was telling that my sister, her name translates to little dark one, and she has very dark skin, but she too is, you know, she has depression and stuff too, so that also coincides with her name. So I'm just like, man, it's just crazy how our names just define who we become as people.
It just seems like it's like a spell. It's like they um, wanted to embody certain beings because they did overlay us with the whole chakra system, which I don't believe in that anymore. As far as giving my left ear clipped, awesome. I don't let anybody. I'll pray for you. No, thank you. I'll do a Reiki session. No, thank you. I got me. Because you can be hacked that way, and that's during the Atlantean times. The scientists built our body, the bodies with the chakra systems, so that they can pretty much try and control us. So, we were talking the other day about the full moon and how Chad sent me this video. It's called Chemtrails and something by Lana Del Rey, and I was watching.
Oh,
Did you see
chemtrails over
that?
the country club or something? Yeah.
Yes. Did you see the video? And it's like, okay, the moon. I know that in the moon, um, there's a net around it, and it controls people, especially in a full moon. They have the energy weapons, and that video made me sick because it's like, okay, she turns into this white wolf. Then they have this whole witch ritual thing, satanic
Mm.
ritual, and then they go to sleep during the day. And it's like, okay, this guy holds the girl when she comes to the bed, and I'm like, girls, are they mating with wolves now? Like, what are they trying to
Ooh.
do? What are they trying to say? Um, and it's just, it's now, they're, and then first she has this kind of like face covering that's diamonds over her face. So like
Mhm.
and she's dressed in white during the day, and then at night, she's dressed in this skanky thing, and it's very sexual. So they're trying to bring in the moon energies, the wolf energies, but in a bad way. And I know that I've been spliced with that DNA as well. I
I know I have to.
Yeah, I can't sleep. First of all, I have really bad PTSD, but when the full moon, forget it. Like for 4 nights, it's so bad. And
Probably why we've been feeling the way we've been feeling because of the full
and,
moon. We're just
and it's really anxious when they sleep deprive you and things like that. Anxiety.
I hate it.
Now, did you and I watch Morbius together with Chad?
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember where when they have the bats? He has the bats in this uh, plexiglass cage, and there's like a skylight, but it's
Mhm.
actually not a skylight, it's the moon energy. And Chad brought up a point where he says, oh, look, it's sleep deprivation. I'm like, dude, that's exactly what they did to us to bring out our abilities, for their programs. And it's like, damn. And then he has
Mhm.
to drink the blue blood, which is the synthetic
Mhm.
fake blood. And then the other guy, and it's funny because they play the Lucian versus Michael, Archangel Michael, right?
Yeah.
Religion there again. Uh, and then because they're paraplegic, they're kind of like paraplegic, like they can barely walk sometimes, and
Mhm.
so Morbius, he gets this, he finds out a way of manipulating the blood so that he can walk, but then he turns into this bat being or whatever.
Mhm.
I find it interesting, when I was falling asleep that night, that or morning when we were watching it, I was asking myself, I wonder how many drops of that blood they need. And then all of a sudden, I think I texted you, and I see this lady. She has short blonde hair, tall. It was the night before, supposedly, they said that Queen died, but we all know she's been dead. She
Mhm.
walks in front of me, and I'm in a lab, and I see this black, like, wine bottle. And I ask, well, how many drops of that blood or whatever do we need? And she said, like this, 500, no, she said 5,518 drops. I'm like, and then I wake up, I'm like, oh crap, I gotta write it down. I don't know. It's just weird how I get information. But
Right.
you
Especially
were
when you just
talking
ask your questions.
Monday?
I said, so especially when you're just asking yourself questions, not really, you're just asking, you're not really, really asking, like you're just asking, like why that? And then you'll just get it, yeah. And
Yeah.
you'll just get your answer out of nowhere, and you're just like, okay, thank you.
And that's the same thing that's around the ether, while that information web. And I kind of feel sometimes that it's maybe, I know it's us, our inner self, but at the same time, it's the beings that are also discarnate that are also helping us here, and for our star family. I don't know. But
Mhm.
I do trust myself a lot. And these programs, even the torture or the abandonment issues that we had here growing up, they want us to not trust ourselves. So that way we give our power away, whether it's in a
Mhm.
relationship, religion, or whatever. But getting back to Lucky Martin and all the programs, you shared a video with me that I'll check out later. Um, how you were saying that you saw it maybe what, a month ago or so, and then
No, when I
or
first
year.
when I first saw it, it was a year ago when I was still living in my other apartment. So this was like when I was looking up stuff on the secret space program, and so I came across of a man named Michael Schratt, who is an aerospace engineer, and he's also like a military historian. Like he's just very knowledgeable, and so he's got like one that's over an hour, like at the secret space program conference, and other speakers were there too. And then he has a 3 hour one where it's called no, Forum Borealis or something. Him and a man are there. It's an interview. It's about over 3 hours, but it's still really good. And so yeah, he was an aerospace engineer. I don't know where exactly he was working, but he started to question like where all this money is going, because he was seeing money was coming in, but where it was really going. So he started looking and he started finding out that all these black projects were going on. Then he found out about Solar Warden and just about the secret space program, and that's when he just started just researching and looking and just needed people to know, like, look, this is where all your billions of dollars are going. And he actually even put some woman on blast. He puts her email address, her phone number, and he's like, call her and ask her where your money's at. He's like, we own these planes, we own all that crap. And I'm like, yeah, we can do. Give me a jet, I want one. But yeah, so um, it's gonna get out there, and people are gonna start finding out. I'm actually like posting here and there the interviews or him speaking, like on YouTube. Like if I'm watching something on aerospace, I'll just post the link and see if somebody will want to watch it and be like, all right, I'll humor this, and then maybe they might take this man for what he's saying, because he's an actual aerospace engineer. He never thought he was gonna come across all this stuff. He just thought he was just gonna be working on planes or whatever, and he was meant to find this. He was meant to be a part of it and to. Yeah, I don't know if he knows about like the Supersoldier program and things like that, but I mean, yeah, I don't know if he
Mhm.
knows. If he doesn't now, I'm sure he does now
Well,
though, with everything
find
that's
out.
coming out.
Yeah, and then here in Tucson we have Raytheon, the missiles.
Well, yeah, and he was talking about General Dynamics too, and just how they're all part of it.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy, dude. Skunk works.
Yeah, like something like I was thinking. few months ago, I'm like, okay, the word beryllium came, vibranium,
Mhm.
uranium. And I'm like, okay, well, I've studied uranium and I'm like, ooh, what's vibranium? I'm like, oh, that's the stuff that they use in, these AI drones and missiles. And then I was studying, 'cause I have this movie called Aviator with DiCaprio and how he goes crazy at the end, thinking it's probably all the beryllium or radiation. Um, but the Boeing 727, they, after they did, I believe after they did that one, they went and built I think it's the stealth one, and it kind of looks like a mantarraya, like a manta ray. I find that very interesting.
Was it that really big one that said that it could outfly any plane, like the
Yes,
XB something Valkyrie or something like that? Is that the one they're
yes,
talking about? Like it looks kind of funky, like it looks flat in the back, but then it's got
yes.
like the sharp, looks like a neck. Almost looks like a goose, and the plate, so it's like on the sides, it goes like this
Yeah,
or
and
something.
it's kind of it's bigger. I see it bigger than
Has like six jets
CRTV.
or six in the back. I
Yeah,
think it was crazy. I was watching that today. I was like, that
I
does not look
know.
like it's
Like,
from. You could tell that's alien freaking
oh
engineering right there.
yeah,
That thing's crazy. If it can outfly any plane for as big as it is, it's like, how is that possible?
you
So
know there has
that's
to be.
why I want to get into it because I want to see all that.
Yeah.
You know?
Hmm. And that Raytheon too, I had an acquaintance who he was Navy and Air Force, and he told me that he was intel. He was pretty much used for spy, you know, information. He was really good at the computer. Pretty much one of the alphabet soups he was working for,
Mm.
clandestine stuff. So then he left that, and he pretty much charges people whatever he wants, for intel. Hey, I want to spy on this person. Okay, what's their phone number? Let me tap into it. Let me green screen her. Um, very high security there. I find it interesting that my dad, for a while, worked at the old airport, which is right beside Raytheon with the airplanes. And then when I was a kid, I was in seventh or eighth grade, and they chose me to be in the Wright Brothers program. They taught me how to fly a Cessna when I was at Apollo Junior High. I find that very interesting. And very interesting when I came back from the Las Vegas conference in 2021,
Mhm.
on the way back from Phoenix to Tucson, a man in a tan suit, he looked Arabian or Persian. He said that he named a name, and he said that that's the new name for the old Wright brothers. I'm like, and you're sitting right next to me.
Mhm.
It's interesting, 'cause I wasn't supposed to sit in that seat, but I read the ticket wrong, and I'm like, oh, I guess I want to stay here. That wasn't really that cool. And then right when we're boarding the plane,
Mhm.
from Phoenix to Tucson, the air stewardess says, "Welcome to New World Order American Airlines." I'm like, what the heck? What the heck? What's going
Yeah, I'm
on?
like looking around. Did anyone else hear what she just said? Did she say New
I
World
did. I
Order?
looked around. I'm like, no, no, they're on their phone or
Oh
sleeping.
yeah, that's why she knew she could say it. Everyone's just like beep beep beep, just too busy.
Hmm. And then when
Dude,
I
that's
was a jumper, I was a jumper for Bantech armored vehicle. They didn't even give us a Kevlar suit, nothing. They just, here's your gun. I had my own gun. And here's $1 million worth of money. Well, money, because I had to go to the casinos and from Tucson, Phoenix, and sometimes from here to sales to find it very interesting to Bisbee. We had to go to Sierra Vista. We went to that old West place by Bisbee. What's it called? Ah, can't believe it. And may I have my channel back, please? Tombstone. And the ATMs would break and I'd have to fix them. And it was just me and another guy, a driver, and I'd have to like sometimes the money bags would go everywhere. And I'm like, oh crap, I have to fix them, count the money in my little counting machine, and so much money. And then when it came time to eat, I just barely had like wipes and I had to eat with my hands green. I'm like, well, I'm starving. I gotta eat, you know?
Right. Yeah,
Um,
heck yeah. What doesn't
they,
kill me, right?
yeah, and they we would have to go to Honeywell
Hmm.
as well. So pretty high up there, these corporations, high security, they would always
Hmm.
be watching you. I
Yeah.
feel like it was something that I had to do because the ex would say, "Oh no, what if you really don't want to be a cop? Let's get your feet wet. Let me call my best friend and get you on." And I was only there for 3 months, and then I got hired as a police officer. I'm like, "Yes, I'm going to the academy now, bitches. Like nothing can stop me." And that I
Right.
feel is a cover, was a cover for me to get my training because, like this man going back to Irwin, he was saying how, they put you in they put these things on you. And well, when I was in the police academy, we had to do the red man drills. We did like four of them. And the first time, I mean, I know how to fight street fight, 'cause when I was a kid, I would have to defend my sisters and crap like that. But
Hmm.
I got hypnotized 3 times at this academy. I've already talked about this, and I'm like, what the hell did they do? Because the first time what they did is paired me up with the
Hmm.
biggest guy, tallest cop. He was all covered and nice. He had a helmet, black. You could barely see his eyes. He had on nice gloves, padded everything. Us, they gave us fingerless gloves, and we just had a hat on and our little uniform, little recruiter, you're nothing kind of a thing.
Little cadet.
Little cadet thing. And then the first time he hit me, boom, he hit me right here. And then I fell and I saw stars and I blacked out. And then I saw stars and I heard my name, get up. I heard my name, get up, get up. And I got up and the guy said that my eyes turned green and boom, I just went at him. Boom, 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 just boom, boom, boom.
Sheila
Finally
like
got him
She-Hulk.
down, kicked his ass, got the pulseras, the wrist things, the handcuffs on him.
Hmm.
And it was like, damn, they
That's all
wanted
he had
to
to
see
do.
if I could fight because because I was in these programs and that was the cover. That was a cover to get me in to get more training to see if the training had worked. Because
See if
Peter the
you can
Insider
just.
from ACIO said that at 16 I had already graduated. They have me as a special soldier as Department of Defense when I was a year and 8 months. They took me, so it's like, and that I graduated at 16. So I'm like, all right, so maybe that's what they needed to do. They needed for me to go to the army, get those stupid shots, the 5-in-1 anthrax crap. And now they're like, oh, it's gonna take about a year or two. The DAV says maybe you'll be able to qualify. I'm like, maybe I already have 6 titanium screws, man, and I gotta get another surgery. Like, really? How much do you want to milk me? Like, you can't milk me no more. I know who the f I am. I can go on and on. But you were saying before we took a break that they want to keep us like this, like down.
Oh yeah, what I was saying, like, they just want to keep you down, like, like they're putting the weight of all their negativity and bullshit, because you're like, why am I getting all these bad breaks or what? Why can't things just, go my way for once? Like, why can't I just catch a break? And just, you see all the mindless zombies, the people that are just stuck on their phone, you see that they got stuff, they're living in a nice place, have a nice car, they got things going on, and you're just like barely making it, barely can pay the rent, buy your food or this or that, whatever, and you're like, why can't I be like that? They look like they're living not in the lab of luxury, but at least that they have abundance, or and I was thinking about that, and I was just like, they're the ones doing that. They do it to those who are waking up because they want you to get discouraged, to start getting distracted, like, fuck, I need to stop, I can't think about my mission or whatever. I can't continue, trying to get my memories back and talking to people that'll help me. I need to get to work. I need to work, 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 so I can make that money, so I can then live that comfortable life. And it's just like, but yeah, then you get caught up in working, then you get burnt out. And then, you think just because you're working so much, people are going to like you, you're going to get moved up. They see that you just work and you're just, you're just another cog in the wheel, dude. You're just there just to until you break, and they'll just replace you with someone else that's gung ho, ready to go. So yeah, fuck that, man. I don't want that life anymore. So whatever. If they want to keep doing that, that's fine with me. I'll just keep pushing on. Things will continue to at least fall as it should, at least so I can continue my journey, continue what I need to do, figure out who I am, find my peoples, my team, and just fuck it, whatever.
We are gonna keep manifesting, whether they like it or not, left and right, sideways, up and down, as above, so below. We're gonna keep going. They can't stop us anymore. Um,
Right.
and that's the kind of like the how you described it of wanting to keep us down is Max would talk about the fishbowl. He
Mhm.
would talk about the fishbowl and how it's like the fish, right, is in a bowl, but then they want to keep you down. They want to keep the iron man, the iron fist on you,
Mhm.
to see how much you can take. And then, a lot of people will quit, but little do they know that not us.
You
They already taught us a lot of things, and our subconscious remembers. And now it's time for our consciousness to bring it up and use it
Yeah,
for
man.
good. And
Because once
also,
you know what the plan is, once you know what their game is, it makes it easier to push through. You're like, it's them. It's them being assholes. It's them causing all this. It's just them. They're unhappy. They don't know how to love. They're devoid of that. And if maybe some want that, but they don't know how to get it, so they just do it through fear. It's like that's not how you get people to want to trust you or be around you. How do you get love if all you're doing is trying to control and put fear into them? It's like, who wants to be around that? You want to be around a warm, inviting, good-hearted person that you can trust and confide in, and they're not going to betray you. That's hard to find nowadays. Most people just want to, follow me on this.
date me because I'm cute.
Hmm.
I got my
Right.
Prada shoes. Living in a little apartment, no. Um, so shoot, I lost the trail of thought, but it was, let's go back to I guess the evangelicals, because we were laughing earlier when you were telling me about these people online that you would listen to, and then now this person, she's totally changed. And then I said, from Jesus to Prada. Talk about
Yeah,
that
exactly.
lady. Yeah.
So yeah, her name was, well, her name is not was is Heather Lindsay, and when I would listen to her at first, like she was, started from their little home, and she's very humble mama, and just, she just was very on fire for God, and I really liked what she was preaching, and saying, because she was very real too, because she'd be like, you can't be like in your feelings all the time. You can't be, people aren't there to stroke your ego. You're not here to please people. You do have a mission on this earth before you go home. And I like how she kept it real. And then as she started getting bigger and getting more following, and her channel started to grow, then she started doing like arenas and stuff, and she would say shit like, I would never, like would charge for this, and I would never ask for like specific things, like being all like, those diva, preacher women or whatever. And yeah, she ended up becoming one of those, like she had to have a certain type of pH water, and she could only stay at 5 stars now at hotels and things like that. And so they started a church out in Alabama as they got bigger, and they just saw the money was coming in the millions, because they ended up buying like $1 million home, and they're like, where did that money come from? They got nice cars, their kids are going to private school, they got nannies, and then now they're starting a podcast, and they're just like, all this money just was coming in. And so I remember I was trying to find her videos again, and she just took them all off, and then all you see now is like people like just like they got all this just evidence against them, like, yeah, they try to, scam me for all this money when I was working for them, and they're not paying me back, and we're trying to take them to court, and they're trying to say they're going to take us to court, and then we better stop bad mouthing them, like, just making it seem like they're the victims when they're the ones like leeching off others. And it just shows you how religion can make people greedy. Yeah, I'm sure they were on fire for God. They did want to save people and help people, but money got the best of them, and it's just, now you see them on Instagram, $500 Gucci shades on, her and her little Prada bags, Louis Vuitton bags, showing off the kids, and just now your typical
Yep.
basic, woman with money. It's like, yeah, you're pretty, but now your inside's ugly. You're who's
Your
gonna take
inside doesn't match your outside, baby.
all that money isn't gonna cover up what you're. what's going on in the inside. That's not going to cover up that hole. And it's
Yeah,
just
like
like,
Carrie was talking last night in that interview that I told you about. Like she was talking about how, Corey Good actually came out because David Wilcock helped him to come out, and
mhm,
then he turned on them. And then she said that even Corey tried to that he wrote YouTube to get her channel, discredited. And same thing with Ismael Perez. They have all of a sudden he comes on, boom, he has 1 million subscribers. Who the hell is he? Where did he come from? What is his thing? Does he want to have people vote for him for governor? Like what is the agenda behind that? He's all buff, some people are on steroids and they say, oh no, this is natural. Like all the wannabe super soldiers, and they're given a script. They're paid to do this. Same thing what happened with Sarah Adams. She wanted to hook up with Max Spears, so because he was a good person, he had all this information, and he was getting known, and then she leeches onto him. And now what does she do? She does automatic readings. I don't do no automatic readings. Shoot. I ask myself, what does this person need to know? What does this
mhm,
person need to know from her inner self,
mhm.
And no, just people selling their souls, and they're the Illuminati gets to them. The eight, we'll call it. The eight get to them.
It's just survival mode, man. I mean, I don't think that's how they want to be, but in order to survive in this shitty ass planet, this prison planet, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. It sucks when some people choose one way versus another, but hopefully soon everyone will turn around. Like in that dream that I had, where I said to all of them, like, "You're my team," all of them, Caspo, all of them were there. JP, everyone was there, man. So it's just a matter of time
And
when
then,
everyone turns around.
yeah, did you want to talk about that astral thing where the lady in the moon?
Oh, the lady on the moon. So I don't remember how it starts, but I feel like I was on the moon, but it was in an airport because it's like that airport setting, but it was huge and it almost felt like a mall, like the Mall of America, even though I've never been there. But it had that feel with the airport type feel. And I remember just walking around and I'm just like, what the fuck, where am I? And so then all of a sudden I'm like in like what do you call it? Like the office area, like where you work if you work in the restaurant. And so yeah, I'm with this older lady. She's really small, but those really small, don't take no shit type of little ladies. And so she's just telling me something because I guess I'm going through some training with her. And then there's a girl. She looked like a black girl, pretty young, and she was wearing like the busser uniform, the white with the black pants. Dishes are behind her like in the racks, and she's just sitting there, just looking really tired, just dejected. And as she's talking to me, this lady, then she turns to the girl and tells her to get back to work. She's like, "Don't sit there, get back to work." I'm just, "What the fuck, lady, leave her alone," in my head. And I look at her and I motion with my head like, "Go home," because I guess I was a superior. And then she just looks at me with this look on her face, and like she tells me like, "I can't go home, I'm stuck here," as if like she's just stuck there, she's stuck working there forever, like she can't go home, like she's was taken from Earth and she's now there just. And I feel there's people that you do know and don't know that they're not on Earth and they're just working just like a shitty job like you would here. And it's just like, why would you do that to people? Just for some rich fuckers can be like, "Oh, I was on the moon, or I went to Mars." Mm-hmm.
See, and I feel a lot that it has to do with us being activating our DNA,
Mm-hmm.
um, and going beyond what they thought we were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
We are specimens, but if say some people don't fight,
Mm-hmm.
they don't activate their DNA, they don't have a want or a will. They say, oh, well, this is going to be my life. That's all they're going to do because that's their genetic coding, their frequency, or whatever. But once you break out of that and you realize who you are, you see the television, right? The tally lies, the tells the lies. You see the real Truman Show going around. Like,
Mm-hmm.
damn,
Hardcore.
they're watching me. Why? Because you're very unique. You're here, and they want your genetic coding. They want your body. these archons, these parasites, they try and
Mhm.
trick people and into thinking certain ways. They whatever program they can get people in, they don't care as long as you're in a program. And then they want to put you in these scenarios to see what you're gonna do. Who are you really gonna find out who you are before you leave?
Mhm.
Things like that.
I better.
Yeah, and
I
going back
better.
to your astral, you said something about your vehicle.
Yeah, because you had mentioned your bed being your portal, and so that's what triggered the memory of so yeah, so I don't know if this was the same dream because I had dreamt of the same place, but being in the back, like the offices with the supervisors. So yeah, so anyway, so then now I'm leaving. I remember I'm now in an elevator and I'm trying to like just get out of there, and I press the wrong button, and there's people with me, and I press the wrong button. I'm like, why did I fucking do that? So now I have to wait to get to the bottom because I needed to get to the bottom to get down to the ground floor, or out to the parking lot and to the street, because then it turned from that to now I was in, because at Sky Harbor, close to Sky Harbor in Phoenix, there's the JP Morgan place where they do like third party for USCIS, like all the immigration shit. And so it turned to that. So for me being there now, back on kind of, no, not back on Earth, because now I'm coming down on that elevator, and then it becomes JP Morgan, and I'm with my younger sister, and we're running to my car, and she's like, ah, like, freaking out. And I'm like, we're almost there, we need to get to the car. And as soon as I touch like the car, then it's just like, like a light. And then I woke up and I was just like, holy fuck, what happened? Like, did I dream that or was that real? Like, it was really crazy. So I think my car is a portal because I feel like at times it is a little portal.
Yeah, mine is too. And there's a reason why I won't get rid of it because I don't want the new, the Tesla car. No, no, thank you. They can zap you anytime. I don't want the no digital stuff. I
Right, because
keep
they
my
could shut down your car, man.
huh?
They could just shut down your car if you're driving.
Yeah, and there's a joke. I guess there's a meme. It's like, you owe your student loan and then you owe your vehicle money. And, there's a meme that says something like, well, don't you know that they can just take your car back? Like disappear, it won't be there. It's just they have the
Yeah.
GPS system. They know where you go, they track you. They can just go get it.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, you don't have a Tesla car no more. But huh?
Who even wants one of those anyways?
Heck no. No, and I was listening to SG Anon last night. There was a short video on Elon Musk. He's like, there, that the man that's in the anonymous mask says, "We know who you are. You decided to sell Bitcoin, and then when that didn't go well, you decided to pretty much be a little bitch, and and play both sides, and that was never his company. He had somebody help him buy money with money to buy a company from the dudes that had it, and it's not even his invention, and he's trying to tag his name on Mars. It's like he's not even all that. He ain't know all that and no bag of chips either. You know what I mean? So it's just a psyop to get the young kids involved and the young engineers, the young people that are going to robotics. And I find that robotics fascinating. AI is my
Mhm.
thing. I just love it so much. But you know how we were going through all these things 2 to 4 weeks and all that, and all the stuff that we've gone through. And this morning, I think I only slept like 2 hours and then an hour. Still have 5 more puppies to go. um, I was in the astral. I think I did tell you about it. It was so weird. Um, I was in a house in a room with my middle sister and her daughter, and we were talking, and then I got hungry, like always in my dreams, right? And I'm like, hey, why don't you order pizza or something out? And she's like, oh, she got on the phone and she was about to dial. And then I leave, I go outside, and I have this huge semi truck, and it's mine. And I'm in the back, open the back, all kinds of stuff in there. I take out some chips, some organic chips and organic snacks, and I'm all happy. And there's this lady that comes, she's walking her dog, she's black with her 2 little kids, and says, oh, do you have any pickups today? How many pickups do you have? And I say, oh no, I'm not a truck driver. I go, this was given to me. And she goes, oh, okay, I'm a truck driver. I'm like, oh, cool, nice to meet you. And then I go and I get distracted. There's this tall, tall man. I don't know why I'm saying it, but I just have to get my stuff out. So he's like a tall white, glasses, old man with his hair parted aside, receding hairline, and he's like in a tan or blue or white shirt, something light, both top and bottom pants, button down shirt. And he offers me a drink. I think it's kind of like a dirty martini or something. And there's food. And then I'm like, oh, I can't wait to eat. I tell myself there's people around, like a little party inside there. And I take the drink and then I go and get more. And I'm like, oh, he put everything away that he put away the food too. And I'm over here like taking the food and like, this is weird.
Mhm.
What did he give me in the drink? And then I go back to my sister and my niece and I bring them the food and then the dream ends. It's kind of weird. But I know that the dream, it means there is provision for us, for sure.
Mhm.
We manifest what we need to. And as long as we keep our heart space, because our heart is actually the way home, our portal, our true self. We keep dealing with these issues, letting go of fear, that will be provided for as long as we keep our heart as a childlike, because we can't really. I mean, some people will sell their souls, unfortunately, for the fame, but at the end of the day, they're just vessels to be used by the magic eight or the elite or the
Whatever they want to call themselves.
whatever they want to call themselves.
Why? What the fuck are you? Like, why do you need like 1,000 billion names?
And they have all the money that they want and need. That's what Irwin was saying. And he was also, I'll copy the link and put it down. It's on Miles Johnson bases. And he was also talking about the 16 and the Emerald Tablet. They were missing the sixth book of the Emerald Tablet, and how he puts one of the soldiers puts his hand over the tablet, and they have these like two prongs that are coming down.
Hmm.
As soon as he puts his hand on that tablet that they were missing, it lights up and all these numbers come out
Mm.
from his hand. And so then they wrap it up and they take it. Of course, they have to do some assassin stuff there. He was trained by the British Army or whatever, secret. So I find that interesting. He mentions the 16, he mentions the 6, which is the book that was missing. And this was in Jabawa, and they were in close to Lebanon and Beirut. He said that the people that were involved in this mission, he said that he was in a room where he saw some flags. One of the flags was the Israel flag. The other one was the United States. And then he says that he saw another flag that had some red in it, but he couldn't see it fully. And I'm thinking, okay, is it China or is it Japan? It could be Italy. That also has a little bit of red, but it's just the
Or
first
Russia, dude.
two. Yeah.
The
And I know
Soviet.
that, and I know that Carrie was also saying that September 24th through the 30th, somewhere around there, that she had a vision. Because a long time ago, I knew that download came a dream. I had a dream where it was China and German soldiers under the Mexican border. So she says that there's going to be an infiltration, she feels, of refugees extranjeros that are coming from Texas, California, and Arizona border. So something's about to go big, they say.
Damn, it's
Just
going
prepare our minds.
down.
Just prepare our minds. Because the whole, also the thing that I talk about in my classes, which they are still available if anybody wants to purchase them, is the G Mafia, and that the smart cities, the buildings, the high rises that have been going up and covering the Hollywood sign in Cali. Um, Texas is major, there's a
On
portal down
the
there.
the line city that they're talking about
The
next year.
Line City. You sent me that video, or did I send you that video?
I sent it to you.
Okay, so yeah, so you sent it to me where I think it's in Israel, right?
It's somewhere in the Middle East, like somewhere in
Okay,
the desert.
that makes sense because if they're planning to blow up the rock thingy, what's it called? I already mentioned it earlier.
The Dome of the Rock.
Yeah, then that's what they're probably going to do. The smart city structure of the two lines that come up, and this, how many people can they house in this line that goes up in the
They
buildings?
it's crazy. 9 million they said.
How
It's
many?
gonna be 9 million. They said
Nine
it's
million. Okay, well, which 9 million? Because if there's 7 billion, then they're trying to get rid of people with the whole baby Jabberwocky and all their
I think
crap,
it's gonna
trying
be
to
that
change the
because
atmosphere because the reptilians can't breathe here. They want the atmosphere to be breathable.
I think it's like a test city, so it's like they're gonna have 9 million people live there, and it's like what is it, mirrored walls, and it's just and it's supposed to be like this oasis, and blah blah blah, and everything's like 5 minutes away from where you live, so you don't have to go far, and you don't really have to go anywhere, and you don't really have to leave your little pod or whatever, your kennel, your cage. So it's just like, you see that a lot of movies, like, you're living in this little pod space. Like, my room, the size of my room is going to be the size of your actual house. Just like in The Fifth Element with, what's his face? He lives, like his bed goes in the wall or some shit, so he has space to walk around. It's like, I don't want to live like that. I want to live free in the woods, like the
Heck
wild
yeah,
wolf that I am.
me too. The white wolf, baby, here we are.
Mhm. Wild wolf.
Ow! Calling all wolves.
Oh,
Ow!
I know, right? Calling all wolves
My
are no
cat is
wolves.
like,
Calling
really?
all
What about
wolves.
us lions? I'm like, you do. Let's go.
The red lions, the wolves, the
The
tigers, the
dragon.
bears, the
Yep,
dragons, right?
the good ones.
Mermaids, the dolphins, yeah, all the good ones.
Oh my gosh, the Oh, I miss the water. I want to go to the beach. Excuse me. I shared this thing on Instagram. Like my friend calls it Insta Scram. Hold on.
Instagram, the Instacom, the Insta scam.
It's a video of mermaids. They shapeshift to being like looking like a rocks, like kind of like
Mm-hmm.
green, and then they're moving, they're
Oh,
talking, they're flipping their tails. So beautiful.
well,
I
I
can't
want to see that.
wait. Yeah, usually in the astral I'll go and be with my merman and mermaid friends with my seahorses.
I know, I want to have more wolf dreams. I only have that one.
Ah, my wolves. Oh my gosh, my wolves. Come on, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Saddle up.
Time to
Saddle up.
go.
Because we're getting ready for some stuff
Some
here.
shit.
Mhm.
Because they keep saying
About
because
to
of
go
that whole
down.
24th, that
Huh?
24th thing. Because they say something every year. They say something's about to happen around that time. But I
Yeah,
really feel
because
this
they want
time
to
it
keep
could be.
the fear of the 9/11 crap. But go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, like the Mayan, because it started with like the whole Mayan thing, and it was always around that time. Like, there's a video on it actually by a guy. His channel's called a call for an uprising, and he talks about it. How he's like, they always say that around that time, the 24th or close to the end of the month, like something big is gonna happen. Like they had the whole Nibiru thing, and then some other shit, and it's just like
Yeah,
the
so
rapture.
right, so that's the distraction, but something that they're doing in their
Yeah, but what are they doing? Like
space.
what?
Yeah, what are they doing? What policies are
Like
they
behind
changing?
the scenes,
Oh, did you see that
what
policy
smoke
that
bomb are they throwing at us?
right, right. Psh, go back that way. Go back from whence you came from thrice.
Look over there. Don't look over here. Yeah, that's what it is. They're throwing that smoke bomb, so everyone looks over there, and they're just gonna go do their dirty work over here, like the cockroaches that they are
Hmm.
in the dirt.
Yep.
The cucaracha.
You want to be a Rosha? Um,
Racheta.
shoot, I was gonna say something.
Do you still want to do the movie later? After we're done
Oh
here?
yeah, 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 yeah. We're gonna do two movies today,
We're gonna
and
do Kiki's Delivery Service tonight.
we're gonna watch something. But I like that anime one that you and I watched about the AI systems, where
Belle,
yes,
everybody watch
tell
that movie,
everybody about
please.
it. I'll be right back. Tell everybody about it. Okay,
Okay.
one moment.
Yeah, you were just mentioning how it's already dark, and yeah, because it's getting colder sooner. And I was reading a article saying that they're predicting it is going to get colder quicker, and we're gonna get hit with more snow because yeah, where I live it snows, and last year it was snowing a lot, and then how we're getting hit with a lot of the rain. Of course, there's gonna be a lot of snow. And I don't know how people just can't see like the whole weather manipulation, engineering, geoengineering that's going on. Like, how do people not see it? They're just crying about climate change, and it's like, who the fuck cares about that? Like, climate action now. It's like, well, if you're screaming about it. Well, look what's happening in the skies. Look at the chemtrails. Look at all the shit that's happening. And then they talk about carbon emissions and shit like that, and they're all flying around in their private jets. It makes no sense to me.
Well, the reason why they want to keep it cold is because excuse me, is because they need it really, really cold to live here. The AI, the sentient beings, and they need it really, really cold. So I am. The air here is not breathable for them. That's why me and beings like us have a hard time. There's something with our DNA that
Do you have lung issues also?
yeah,
Because
I
I
have
do,
lung
man.
issues. I have to use an inhaler. Like right now, I just started coughing out of nowhere. Um, I have to have it cold in my apartment. Like when I go to sleep, it's at least minimum 65, 64 degrees because I
I
can't
have to
sleep
have the
well.
window open. I have to have the windows open, and it's fucking freezing, but I need it.
Yeah, so these beings, they remember I gave that class on the bloodlines with Superman, and I talked about the atmosphere, what it has. And also, again, going back to because the reptilians supposedly can't live here as it is. So that's why they're doing the chemtrails, terraforming the earth. In some places, it's where there was water, now there's like white sand, dirt. In other places like Pakistan, right now they're flooding Pakistan because the stargates there in it's actually in Iraq, I believe. Yep. You guys look at the original movie Stargate, you know, it tells you right there.
Like
That's
in
Stargate.
Ukraine.
And in Ukraine. All right. We all know that the US is working with China, uh, Israel, and on TV, my mom, because my mom still watches TV, I'm like, oh my gosh, her novela, excuse me. Ay, pero it's because les
Oh
pegan
god.
tan feo a los judíos, they beat up the Jew people, the Jewish, and I'm like, Mom, it's a whole thing that they want you to believe. Kind of like the crisis actors, like what happened in Las Vegas in 2017, I think, or 2018. It's ISIS pretty much is involved with the Vatican and all that, and the destruction of certain buildings. So it's
Those and like historical sites too, because remember when all that shit was going down, like those terrorist guys were blowing up those like monuments, and people were like, why? And it's just like, you don't think that was planned? You don't think there's a reason why they are
like
destroying something that ancient?
like Antifa was involved with the whole January 6th. They were not the white hats, supposedly the patriots. But then we have the white hats and the black hats, and there's always good and bad in both factions. So you have to be very careful. Like for example, Carrie Cassidy was saying that Juana O'Savin, he didn't invite her to go speak because she doesn't believe in the whole Jesus thing, and it's like, so these people are holding the narrative. Oh, you can speak in our conference as long as you don't tell them the truth about the fake Jesus, or you can speak in our conference as long as you're Republican, or it's bullshit. It's like they're not being real with their heart, and that's one thing that Max was very adamant about.
being authentic and being your
being
true self.
authentic. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I remember how was it when I was watching something and they're like, oh, I had to just watch it just because it was so dumb and it was on Juan 07 and like he was at one of those God and Country type deals and I'm like, that is not him because the guy that started to talk, it sounded nothing like him. I'm like, that's an actor. That is not him. You really think he's gonna? And he was like some
No,
old
they keep
fat
saying
dude.
he's JFK Jr. I'm like, fuck that shit. That's a lie.
It was some
Why
old
do they
fat
want to bring
dude.
in
I'm
that
like,
narrative? Why?
they just
They
want to get
keep
people's hope up. Like they just, it's all in social engineering, man. It's just to get people see what they're gonna choose, what they're gonna believe. It's like a whole religion. It's like a whole new religion now. This whole truther movement thing is like a whole new religion. It's like, who do you believe in, JFK and Trump, or do you believe in Biden and whatever?
and then you got the cancel culture. They want to cancel everything.
Everybody's so mean. Just shut
Dude,
up.
I heard this other patriot the other day. I forget his name, but he was saying, you Z generation or yeah, the Z generation or the X generation, he was calling them out and he was saying, you want your student loans to be forgiven and paid for? Well, then go to the military and it'll be paid for you. I'm like, bullshit. I was in the military and it was not paid for.
What I hear.
Anyway,
What I hear.
let's talk about the anime movie and then we'll end it for now.
Oh, oh yeah, we're talking about Belle. So it is this beautiful animation. If you're into anime and like Studio Ghibli type films, like you're gonna love this. It's like, so what is it like? Is it set in the
Just
future or something?
from the
Because it's
beginning, yeah, it's in the AI system and
it's
the matrix and all that. But start from the beginning,
it's
like how she loses her mom, why, and all that stuff, and she can't sing, and then she whatever. Okay, go.
so yeah, it's about a girl named Suzu. She loses her mom very young because her and her mother would sing all the time, and so that was her thing. And so after her mom died, she couldn't sing anymore. I think the mom was sick, right? Her mom was sick. That's why she died. And so no, thinking of
She
something
went to
else.
go save another little girl who was drowning.
That's right. So they were at like vacationing. She throws on the vest and she's begging her not to go. No, mommy, stay with me, stay with me. She's like, no, but I have to save her. So she goes and saves the little girl, but she ends up dying. And so she's angry too, right? She's angry at the mom. She's angry just like at everyone. So she just doesn't sing. So I guess it's out of her anger, maybe out of spite. She doesn't want to sing anymore. Just she's just depressed. So she's now a teenager, and it's like they say 5 billion users are on this thing called U Network or U or something like that. And so you're just like this avatar, like either you look like a normal person or you look like some weird thing, like some weird hybrid. And so she decides to start an account, and so she uses the name Belle, like a bell, like a little ding ding ding, because in Japanese, I guess Suzu means bell. And so she's like with long pink hair with these cute little freckles, and she's just like really pretty. And so she just starts to sing, and of course, it's a beautiful song. She has a beautiful voice, and that's just the only way she can somehow be her authentic self. Like, so she can sing again, and her best friend is like this crazy little computer nerd girl. She's funny though. I love her. I think she's great. And so yeah, it's just, and then the twist, man, like the beast, like you just did not see where it was going with that. And I don't want to spoil the rest because I want everybody to watch it. I think it's such a good movie.
Yeah, it's a really, really good movie. It's also transhumanism.
Mhm. The AI, yeah, the hive too, like because everyone, the whole justice, like the justice people that take care of
Justice
like,
League. Hmm.
yeah, like the cops pretty much, and just how that one guy Justin just wants to be in control, and she's just like, why do you want to be in control of everyone? And it's just like, yeah, just like people who just get into their ego or just feel like they know what's best for everyone. It's just like you don't know me, you don't know what's best for me. It's just,
It's kind of
but
like the
yeah, so good.
Galactic Federation looking over. They are the just.
Yeah, that's so weird, right? Now that you
They're like
mention
the
that.
cops, the cops of the space. and they're trying to control the AI, and they're trying to control the people's narratives, how they're going to live their life and what you should do and you shouldn't do that. And what I find interesting though is that, and I won't spoil it either, but I do find it interesting that that guy with the blonde hair, yellow hair, his thing, his hammer Thor is actually like a lion, and then the color green is used.
Oh,
Dark
the
chocolate.
emerald and then the lion with the wings, his thing to reveal people, you know, just like, tell me who you are, I'm going to tell everyone who you are. It's just like, humiliate people in front of everyone, like the whole populace. And it's just like, just sucks. Like, that's how it is here. You're just this normal person, but on social media, you're just this different persona. And then, people want to expose you just for either petty reasons or who knows what, but it's just, or just, yeah, petty reasons pretty much most of the time.
Well, that's why I tell people you have to be authentic. You have to be who you are on social media as you are in your life, because why do you want to put on the mask? Why do you want to, like, mask meaning, the persona, like you said, and different, like the lies, how many, what, like I said the other day, how many, what kind of legacy are you going to leave your kids? Like, oh, I'm going to leave them 1,000 selfies. You know what I mean? It's like, there's
Right. You're
more to
like,
life.
yeah, right. My mom was a narcissist. Like, all she left her legacy was just a bunch of pictures and, on her social media. Like, she really did nothing with her life but just take a bunch of pictures and use me to get clout too. Like, look at my baby, look at my baby. Now he's five,
Or
now he's
you know
15.
what usually does happen with narcissistic people that like to gaslight their own kids. Like, say something happens to say it's a mom and something happens to the kid, and then, oh, look at poor my son, this
What
happened,
do they
and then
call
she
it? The
told them.
Munchausen syndrome, where the parents will purposely harm the child to gain sympathy, and so now social media has completely just fucked children, pretty
Oh
much.
yeah, and then they do a GoFundMe because my son is sick. Why? Because you're poisoning him, bitch.
Right. You're fucking giving them high levels of sodium in milk and making them purposely sick to take them to the hospital so you can take pictures and put it on Facebook. Oh, he's sick again. Please pray for my baby boy. He's my world. He's my everything after
That's
his
so
daddy
sad.
died.
Fucking archons. Anyway,
I'm
I
just,
can go on and on.
no, I know we could go on and on. Probably have to do a part two.
Yes, we do part two, part three, part four. Okay, so
Perfect.
for now, we'll let y'all go. Celeste, where can you be found?
Um, just email, just my first and my last name, as you see on there, exactly the way it is, lowercase at gmail.com, or on Instagram, or the Insta scam, as we were calling it. Just Celeste Plantagenet York, common spelling. No, I don't know if it's a common spelling. But yeah, those are my two main. That's my phone number, but of course I'm not going to give that out. But
No,
yeah,
do
that's
you want
about.
to give your email, or they can just contact you on those platforms?
Yeah, or the email. Like I said, it's up there, celesteparo@gmail.com, just how they see it up there, all lowercase. So that or through Instagram, Insta scam.
Or Instagram? I have three.
Instagram.
I have three Instagrams. I have three IG, and I'll put them down below on the link. And I'm on Twitter, Truth Social, Telegram. Yeah, and then I'll put my email and all that stuff. Y'all know what I do. So love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Love you, Celeste. See you right now.
All right, yeah, see ya.
Y'all.